these lies, once we see them, we face them head on. We trash it, we face it, and we go after it immediately. So tomorrow we are going to still go back to that very aspect. You see, that's why I say the importance of going to their media. We go to their media and we pick the informations that concerns us. Those information that concerns us, we pick them and we trash them and talk about it. Very important. So tomorrow we are going to go into that tomorrow. We are going to do that tomorrow. By the grace of Chukwu Kabiama, we will dive into that tomorrow and be able to trash those lies. Because these people will never change. They will never change. Just when you think they will change, you just discover that they are unrepentant criminals. That is what they are. So let us take the last one before we leave. Let's take the last update in their media again. Let's go back to their media and take this last update and see what they have to offer. These are very important. There's no way you can run away from their media, because if you don't listen to them, you wouldn't know how to respond to all their lies.
Has invalidated guidelines by the Independent National Electoral Commission mandating political parties to submit a register and database of all members on May 10 to be eligible to contest for the 2027 general elections. MG Umar delivered the judgment today in a suit filed by the Youth Party, compelling INEC to follow the 120 days pre-election deadline prescribed by the Electoral Act 2026 for the submission of party registers. Well, all registered parties, according to Mr. Umar, have until September to submit an updated list of all party members, nullifying the initial May 10 deadline. The judgment gives politicians who have lost primary elections in their respective parties the leeway to defect to another political party to continue their ambitions. The presidential and national assembly elections have been scheduled for January 16, 2027, while governorship and state houses of assembly poll lead these individuals. They come into the communities, settle, ask questions, make observations, and then carry out their act. So in this particular regard, is it Nigerians that are doing what they're doing to themselves? The president is alleging that it is also some persons who are not happy with his administration's policies that are also sponsoring insecurity. What do you think of this?
Some people are cashing in on what is going on. You know, when there is a problem like this, few columnists will always want to make money out of what is going on. And these are the people that are helping the terrorists. The terrorists know that there are people who are, and they are now inducing them to get the information they need. They are about that, and the securities and the government are aware of it. But the political will to arrest them is what is lacking. That's what is lacking. All these blame games here and there, somebody want to, they don't want me in office, somebody want to, you know, the people arrest them.
Apparently, the person who is in charge of their group is linked to a network of criminal elements operating within the forest corridor stretching from across parts of Kwara, Niger, and Kogi states. They say they come into the market and act like they're buying stuff. They sell cattle for logistics, food items that eventually transport to the forest where the others reside. And in the process, sometimes they kidnap. They give them information on what to do. Packages like arms and ammunition, AK-47, how they infuse it into the cows, the truck, the food items they purchase. They even have community members where they keep all these things in their homes.
So, with all this information, are you now in doubt as to what is going on? They say the kukuru, where they jump the leaf, is behind the leaf. You know, when you see a leaf being eaten up, on the surface you will not see the thing that is eating. Except you look under, you will now see what is eating that leaf. So that's what is going on. They hide under all manner of substitutes to destabilize this country. All manner of, not one, not two, not three. The most baffling is that the government is aware. Remember when some of them alleged that they was the one that harmed them in the same quarter, two of us.
they ask some questions. According to them, they're like federal government-sponsored vigilantes, and that the NSA gave them those weapons to help protect the forest and foreign states. And apparently, they were left behind. I think maybe they stopped paying them or something, and they decided to start off by intimidating and harassing the community members.
So what does that mean? You didn't profile those you are trying to harm.
Aside from that, despite the investigations being carried out, there are talks that their bail conditions have been met and they may soon be freed. Very fast, very immediate.
So why all the noise, Esther? Have they not been rehabilitating them? This is one of the things that worry me, Esther. I don't even want to start talking about this insecurity. They have messed us up because after your analysis, the government will just embarrass you.
Well, as it stands now, because of the security situation coming down the southwest, I think it propelled the president to speak. And he says that they want him dead. He said the reason they want him dead is because these cabals who are behind the insecurity are not happy with his administration's economic reforms. He said the persons who are activating what is currently going on in the country to stabilize, Nigeria, are persons who are not happy about the exchange rates, the unification of the exchange rate, and obviously the removal of petrol subsidy. That this has offended powerful interests who were benefiting from the old system. Barrister, my question is this again: we still need to understand the sincerity of the president's expression. I remember last year, the president admitted to us, I don't know if it's the president or it's back or one another, or these elements that surround the president. A lot of times, Barrister, when I speak here, you say, oh, I'm an ABC woman. And I said, are you sure that the people surrounding this president are not just complete psychopaths who are completely porous and do not even have an idea of what it is to govern? They come and give the president an inflated perception that indeed Nigerians are happy with him, when in reality, everything is hard. Now, let me give you an instance. This same person coming out to tell us that the president said these cabals want him dead were the ones who told us last year that there is no cabal in the presidency, that the president is fully in charge of Asorok, fully in charge of all those around him. The only cabal that we heard now are supposed cabals that favors the president. We heard there is a Sheikh Tinubu cabal, there's a Remi Tinubu cabal, then there is a Baja cabal. All of these people strategically put things together for the president in terms of having an edge. The only time there is a cross is when most of them submit names for appointments, whatever interest, and there is usually a clash. Sometimes it embarrasses when the list of nominations are out, and then the president now asks who submitted this name, who brought this name, who did this. So, which cabal are we referring to?
You see, that is why they say that a bad workman always quarrels with his tools. He's always looking for a scapegoat, looking for somebody to blame for his incompetence. They did not tell us that it's the Jagaban that is in charge, that he finances the election, all those things. In fact, I am surprised at those who run this errand for him because it is their name that we mentioned tomorrow, Esther. Seriously. When you are sent on this errand, a wise man would have asked himself, if I deliver this message, is this the right message? Is it what is going on? Will the people believe me? Will I not look like a fool when I deliver this type of message? Because it didn't add up with what the people in the presidency have told us. It did not add up at all, Esther. It never added up. So why are you saying it? Just to look for excuse that day.
Okay, Barrister, let's
since you know the people, Esther, what are you supposed to do?
Exactly.
What are you supposed to do?
Where are the names of those people? No, hold on. If we want to say, let's agree that yes, there are some elements who want to disrupt peace of the president. Supposedly, these same elements were the ones that disrupted the peace of Jonathan's government, right? For political reasons, and that was basically how the APC came into power, how they strategized and all of that. So let's assume that indeed there are cabals that they intend to destabilize this government. My question, Barrister, is this: in all the funding, the borrowings you've been borrowing, your budget assessment, your project assessment, and all the funding that your administration has supposedly had, either for execution of projects, for social welfare, Barrister, we don't get updates. Is it the same cabals that prevents you from being transparent in how the monies are utilized? I'm sorry, Barrister, hold on. What about social welfare packages? Indeed, you said that it's because you remove fuel subsidy. Okay, is it not the same cabals are benefiting from this supposed subsidy removal? Barrister, the licensed individuals who distribute petrol, who are they friends of? Who are the people collecting the money in the NNPC from Dangote refinery? We want to understand if indeed fuel subsidy has been completely removed, what were the checks and balance to monitor it? Barrister, do you know that indeed the governors are giving the money? But did you hear that these governors were siphoning almost 800 billion naira from this funded supposed amount from petrol subsidy to their private account for the re-election of the president ahead of 2027? Something that almost exposed and deteriorated the Progressive Governors Forum. So we want to understand. Do they think Nigerians will not ask important questions, or do they think Nigerians will, as usual, maybe they think Nigerians are sentimental and intellectually porous? They would absorb any information that is being fed to them without questions being asked.
Everybody has a compromise. That is why I blame those at the lunch. Because they all claim to be Nadeko fighters and all that. Extra. I said it in the morning. Let nobody come and tell me about Nadeko again. I am telling you, I was thinking and expecting those people to tell the whole truth that this is not the spirit of Nadeko. This is not what they fought for. This is not what was the intention of Nadeko. But they did it. Rather, they were there speaking from both sides of their mouths. And they call themselves elder statesmen. So if elder statesmen cannot tell the truth, then who will tell the truth? Who will tell the truth? That is the question here. I will advise those elders they stop running around like small children, because it is very embarrassing. After seeing what your man is doing, you could not tell him that, look, this is not what Nadeko stands for. Tell him the truth. Tell him the truth. That's what will help this person. Was it what you fought for in Nadeko? Tell me the truth. Is that what Nadeko stood for? Is that what Abiola stood for? And so when you talk, you ask yourself, this thing I'm saying, is that the truth? Is that what I'm supposed to say? Else I remember there was a time this same elder system were used to bring in Abasa when they had crisis in Lagos State House of Assembly.
Precisely.
You remember? They were used. They were told to make Abasa have a soft landing. Then they will pull him out, then later he will go back and then resign honorably later. Is that not what happened?
Very true.
Immediately they accomplished that, what happened? Obasa stayed put. And they did not ask themselves, why did they mess up like this?
Can you hold your thoughts? Let's take this very short break. Please, we'll be right back. Then kindly stay with us. You're still listening to the World News right here in Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. North Central and in the northern region is now coming down to the southwest, because as of yesterday we heard that in Oyo State they were bringing down billboards of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and then we're hearing some Nigerians say divide Nigeria. I think I saw a Facebook post of an elderly woman in Oyo State who was saying, Hausa Fulani, go and have your country, Yoruba Igbo, go and have your country. And some people in the comment section were saying, which Yoruba has destroyed this nation, different insinuations, and this is not the time to be having such tribal sentiment, such tribal coloration, because the deed is affecting everybody across board, and it's bad. Marisa, the president is talking about democracy. Yesterday in Oshodi, around Mafuluku, because of primaries, persons were macheted. This is the same political party. There were thugs deployed because of their different candidates. They macheted people. People were running. Even in the primary school, the students saw what happened. It got to a point that someone who had already been dead, they came back to slash the dead body here in Lagos at Mafoko yesterday. And I saw some Nigerians saying, you people who think you want to come and vote against Tinubu or APC in 2027 elections, this is a prelude to what you people who are not something indigenous or whatever will experience. And I'm sure the DSS sees all those comments and they don't say anything. Some Nigerians don't mind things happening like this so long as this party remains in power and the president remains in power.
So, when we are saying it here, that tribalism is the very first thing that will destroy Nigeria, people will say, why do you say tribalism? That is because it is playing out before our very eyes. With all the admonishment, with all the caution, with all the, it's like the people that are behind this semester, and they don't see it as a problem. What caused the problem in Rwanda was not the Hutus and the Tutsis. ethnic group that do not agree. Is that not the problem? And now when you see things that happen elsewhere and you want to replicate it here, and you are pretending about it, tribalism, Esther, is at the forefront of the destruction of Nigeria.
No,
Tribalism.
the president is
We don't see anything
insisting.
wrong.
The
I'm
president
talking about
is
it here.
insisting that democracy is important. To retain democracy means to be in charge of a federal republic of Nigeria. So the people who are asking for the division of Nigeria, if the president is insisting on one Nigeria, then who are those specifically the supporters of the government who are saying let Nigeria divide?
Esther, forget about what is being said. Look at what is being done. Did you hear me? Forget about what is being said. Look at what is being done. Action speaks louder than words. The person that is talking, what has he done to unite this country? With the appointment he has made so fast, with the way he has been doing things, with the body language, does that man represent unity? Esther, tell me the truth. Does he? You can see. Does he represent unity with all he has done so far? The answer is capital no. So why are you saying it? Why are you saying? Meanwhile, your thoughts are here causing problem. Your thoughts are here. MC Oluomo is telling you not to obey court order until you the president says so. What kind of message is Esther? No, tell me. Let us see what you are doing, not what you are saying. We are tired of victories. Let us see it. Esther, do you know what will happen today? If the state government or the Labour state government gives issue an order, and in fact pass a law, there shall be no thuggery in Lagos again. If you are caught thuggery in any form or shape, either in the motor park or in the marketplace or doing political whatever, you are on your own. File that law and implement it. Esther, do you think this is will happen? Do you think it will happen? But look at how they look the other side when this is happening. They will look the other side. They pretend as if they didn't see or know what is going on. And so who armed them? Who told them to do what they are doing?
Well, Barrister, how does the government explain the removal of fuel subsidy without providing sufficient alternatives to cushion the suffering of ordinary Nigerians? Because according to the president, they said they were going to do cash transfers, the student loans, CNG buses, wage awards to workers. But Nigerians are saying that these measures are insufficient or they are being poorly implemented. So who are those receiving this cash without names? We don't know. If we're having insecurity in the north central, some major parts of the north, which we know in some communities there's major poverty, or even in the southeast and some parts of the southwest, where are the names and communities of those receiving this cash transfer? How many persons have benefited from the CNG buses? And is it something that is still running? How they expand CNG bus centers for you to do conversions and the safety measures attached to that? And then secondly, the student loans and the wage award to workers. How many of the workers have been given wage award? The student loans, now we're hearing some of them complain as to how will they be able to pay back? Although that seems to be the only verifiable angle where we see names, students who are getting the non-fund loans. So what's your take on this?
Esther, you see these largesse they are giving out in name or whatever. It is an avenue to siphon money because there is no way to track it.
Let me ask you something. Is the fact is, are the processes good enough, but the implementation is what is poor?
Esther, we don't need all those things. We don't need handout to survive, Esther. We don't need it. Make the economy work. Esther, that's what every country needs. Not this handout for God's sake. Make the economy work. This economy worked before you people came into office as a political party. Why is it not working under your watch? Why is it not working? Let the economy work as it used to. And stop all this thing that you people are using to siphon our money. I have said this severally. You see this infrastructure, it's the perfect avenue to eat money, Esther. Because the project you told us you are doing, there is no bidding, Esther, there is no costing, no evaluation, no competitive bidding, Esther. So how can you tell me you are bidding whatever? Something that will cost 10 naira, you just add 000, it becomes 10 billion. And then after constructing the thing with 10 naira, the other money nobody will ask questions, nobody will know where it went to. And this Lagos Calabar Coastal Road, is it not a good example, Esther? That is what we are saying here. Is it not a good example? At least that one is very obvious to everybody. That is what we are talking about. You are building something and you are adding money on it. You are adding money. Where is that money going to? Mention any of this construction that anybody has bid. They just award contract to their friends, Chagoni brothers. They just award contract to them without anybody asking questions. I tell you, are building what? Is that hard to build? You are not building anything, you are siphoning money. That's the meaning.
All right, Barrister, during the evening rush, we're going to discuss the situation in court, where the court has mandated that INEC cannot give the order they gave for the submission of membership. So right now it's been extended to September. We're going to talk about that during the evening rush, but very quickly, in the case of Fubara said he withdrew from the primary for the sake of peace, that his silence is not a silence for nothing. It was very deliberate. But we heard that Fubara's brother secured a governorship ambition form with the NDC, and there are talks that maybe the brother secured that ticket for him. Would we see Fubara defect now that it is free for members who are not happy with the just concluded ABC primaries? It's very easy for them now to defect to other political parties. And now that things are like this, are we going to see ADC and NDC merge for whatever reason with the outcome right now from INEC?
Yes, that we want to learn and deliver things. It is the aberration of the high brother. Seriously. I never thought and believed that something like this can happen. And never people like that to be quiet. If they allow weekend to become whatever, that is their cup of tea style.
Are you playing the reverse role of Fubara?
All of them. One thing I'm very proud and I'm very sure is that such nonsense cannot happen where I come from.
Do you think Fubara was threatened not to go for
Whatever
that
they
primary?
need to hit. I remember Roger Sokocha told his deputy, what was that deputy? That he should go and contest for whatever position and all. You should not think of replacing him, that he's funny enough to replace him. The man told him that no, you cannot decide my political future. That is Igbo man for you. All the Kanu wanted to play this evil role in Abia. It was his own chief of staff who replaced him, theology, that exposed him and deputy. That is Igbo man for you. We don't take nonsense like this, Esther. We don't worship people, we only worship God. I have been saying it here. I said people should emulate Igbo man in his politics and his business.
But why would they have to
Because look at what's going on,
Is
Esther.
Fubara an Igbo man? He's not an Igbo man.
I'm telling them to emulate us, because every time they'll be running you down. Why not showcase what you have, Esther? Yeah, every time they'll be talking down on Igbo man.
I don't understand. How does I'm sorry. How is the Igbo
This
context
kind of
coming in
nonsense
here?
cannot happen in any Igbo land. It can't happen. Let's just give you an example here. That a governor that has left office will from nowhere be dictating for somebody in Igbo land, and Igbo people watching him, looking at him.
What is happening in Imo State?
What's
happening in Imo State?
What's happening?
Are we not seeing impositions? And we're even hearing that whoever is going to take over from Okuzodima, hold on, Barrister, whoever is going to take over from Okuzodima is someone that will be installed by him. It's not the same antics that play there.
Let the election come. What Okuzodima is even in Imo State? Is not Okuzodima in Imo State? Is it not resident in Abuja?
So what are you saying? That you don't think he's going to influence anyone who comes in now? Now that he's running for Senate?
I said that he's going to resign.
Yes. So if he's going to resign, hold on.
Uh-huh.
If he's going to resign, are you saying he's not going to be the one to supposedly bring in somebody that he thinks is his own choice candidate? Who will select the people?
I've never brought somebody before, and Igbo State and Igbo people accepted him.
You're saying leave that thing. If we're going to assess situations like this, let's be factual about it.
I've never brought somebody that and imposed the Igbo people and they accepted it.
So what happened in the case of Okuzodima? What happened?
What are you saying?
How
Is it
did
not
you
the court? Oh, you want us to go against the court? What are you talking about? It's not the court. We call him the Supreme Court governor. And not to tomorrow, he is. He is. So we are waiting for the election proper. They will not decide who will rule us. Nobody can impose any people on his own, except the court will say one thing or the other. We say, okay, court, all right, no problem. Let us wait until the court judgment is over. Because as far as we are concerned, the court judgment in Imo State is still what? Is still existing. Until Hope Uzodinma leave that place and the election is conducted, we will not choose those who will be our governor. That's what we are saying. But as to this thing that happened in River State, I swear to Almighty God, it cannot It cannot happen anywhere in the service. It can never happen. I'm telling you. This is why they are destroying the democracy and everybody just go to. Just go to, just accept it as if it is the norm. Do you know that if this thing continues now, if it continues after 2 or 3 elections like that, it will become a norm. Esther, it will become a norm. People will now be appointing governors. Appointing governors, Esther. And you people think it's normal. Nobody is talking, nobody challenging it, especially in my own Lagos here, center of excellence.
In your own Lagos?
Yes, because that's where I live. That's where I live. That's where I build houses. What are you telling me?
You build houses here? Wow.
So what are you telling me? They are not this when you want to talk and give your own opinion directly. They say, no, you are not an indigenous. You should not talk. We want it as it is. Esther, can you imagine? Esther, can you imagine? You see this thing they are promoting now, the day it will backfire. They should not call us so. Esther, they should not call us so. We have been saying it loud and clear now. Nobody will hear us so. Because I know that evil can never last forever. The day this thing will boomerang against us, remember that I said something. Remember, because I know that time people will come back. Well, you people were here. You people, you did not do anything. You did not talk. You are different. They are now promoting it. Okay. When it boomerang, let them carry it.
Barrister, thank you so much for taking your time and giving us your perspective to some of the questions posed at you. We sincerely do appreciate.
Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everyone that have been participating on this very program. Wherever you are joining us from, I thank you for being part of the program. I appreciate everyone that has participated on this program. We are going to end it here. And by the special grace of Chukwu Gabiama, by tomorrow we are still going to be back here and do the needful, as we always do. So wherever you are, I urge you to pay attention. Do your part. Don't allow anybody to deceive you. Don't allow anybody to bully you. Don't allow anybody to try to control you or let you do what you do not want to do. Because we are in a time where we have to focus and do the needful. We must do the needful. No matter what they want to say,